So a little scenic drive this morning on the way to work. They have opened Taggart. I would advise everybody when you go through the active work site to roll up your windows and turn your vents off. If you have any external air coming from the outside, then make sure to turn it off before you go through. It's pretty shocking, to say the least, when you go through the site at the enormity of what has happened here. Yesterday, I felt pretty ill all day. I think I'm feeling much better this morning, even though I slept less. People could say, oh, you don't sleep well or it's stress. It has nothing to do with it, because I normally feel really good and I lack sleep all of the time. I've been through stressful situations in life, and stress this last 9 months, as everyone else has been that lives in East Palestine. Some people aren't stressed, but that's okay. We're looking to move in the spring after 30 years of being here, and that's a big life stressor. And then we have to take out of our retirement money just to move. Something we never planned on doing. But let's talk quickly about after filming that horrible, severe contamination. I believe I know they're sending more down from the crash site, or wherever it's coming from. They'll deny that, but all I know is more chemicals come down. It waxes and wanes. I can go to one spot and I can dig and dig and dig and exhaust the chemicals there, and then a week or two or a month later, it's horribly contaminated again. On Monday, about 3 o'clock, I went down to the creek, and there was also someone testing there, Logan Rancy, and before we even did anything physically with the creek, we noticed that there was chemicals just flowing down the creek, just flowing. We didn't disturb any rocks. We did nothing, and you could just see the white milky substance floating down the creek. I have not seen that since early on, since around Easter in the park, where what I estimated was just hundreds or thousands of gallons of white milky substance just coming down the creek. But that's what we saw on Monday. No, I thought I was just gonna dip a bit of water in a jar. So I did not take my mask. It's stupid. I have a rule now that anytime I go to the creek, whether I think it's 1 minute or 2 hours, take your mask. I was there probably 35 to 40 minutes filming, close to the chemicals. As soon as I got to the creek, I smelled a burning old petroleum smell, but almost as if you walked into an old mechanic's auto body or an automobile repair shop that hadn't been cleaned in years, and there was oil all over the floor, and you could smell that. But to me, that has kind of a sweeter petroleum smell. This has as if a combination of something that was burned, and if it spilled into the creek, I'm assuming it wasn't burned. I'm just telling you what it smells like. It smells like some chemical was burnt. But beyond that, if I'm in an old mechanic shop that isn't clean and has old oil everywhere, I've always been a little sensitive to that. My eyes will get irritated. But this is beyond that. I know 3 of the bad chemicals that are in there because they came up in my testing, which I will make a video shortly about that. I'm quite behind. The reason that takes a while is I want to get all the technical aspects of these chemicals correct so that I don't feed any bad information. But as soon as I smelled it, my nose burned. It just burns the nasal cavity. So I'm leaving the coughing and the sinus drip in. I have been feeling fantastic. When I stay out of the creeks, I feel fantastic. You can hear the congestion in my chest. Oh, but it's fall and the leaves are falling and you're sensitive to leaves. No, I'm not. My nasal cavity, my soft palate near my uvula, the back of my throat and my chest is burnt. It's been burnt since Monday. Today is Wednesday. It's about 9 a.m. My sinuses are dripping. This happened immediately after I entered the creek and was smelling. It was some of the worst contamination that we've seen. I keep saying that over and over again, but that is because of the particular spot. This spot was not like that just a month or 2 ago. So yeah, this spot was not like this a month or 2 ago. I'm sorry, stupid alarm went off and stopped my recording. And this is on a tripod, hands-free, so no danger other than me. It's like me having a conversation with somebody in a car. But here we're heading up into the crash site. Symptoms, immediately my stomach started to gurgle, and it's been making noises for about 3 days. The diarrhea has come back. Yeah, I'm going to admit that on film. And listen, and here we go. You can see it's a 15 mile an hour speed limit. Oh shit, let me turn my vent off because here's a street sweeper sweeping up the whatever it is, all the dirt that's generated. So we've got a street sweeper sweeping. We have guards at the post. No doubt this is the quickest way out of here. This has been shut down for 9 months, but the enormity of what's going on here, and hey, look at that, there's a train going in the background. And then we have people here. There's just a lot going on here. So here's the Leak Oil gas station where the wreck was. And I think this is an air monitor. So this is where the wreck took place, right behind this gas station. Well, actually, what's in your air? Right next to Saran Fab. And then here's the State Line Bar, the State Line Tavern. I don't know, man. I think people should have N95s on at the minimum. I don't really understand it. But hey, maybe it's perfectly safe. And we got some kind of rig here. And I'll film on the way home as well for a part 2. Now look, here's the wetlands. Look at that. See, these are all cattails. These are the wetlands here. Look at, there's the pond. You can see the pond right here. Just beyond these cattails, in between the cattails and the train rolling. Look how close that pond is to the actual crash site. There's a retention pond as well. Those are the wetlands. As of 2 weeks ago, the EPA said there was no to little testing of those wetlands. And keep in mind, that is what they said they had sent down the creek when everybody was reporting. They cut all these woods down here. When everybody was reporting that, what was I saying? Everybody was reporting the water that was sent down the creek on that Friday night. This is an exaggeration, but a metaphor. The creek went from a trickle to the Colorado River within seconds. They raised the entire creek from near the crash site, from the wetlands, they're saying, down to the end of town. They raised that over a foot for 2 hours. That was thousands of gallons of water, which I still contend is probably contaminated. I don't know if you just saw the for sale sign on that Doberman training center. That was the big kennel that the woman, she had gotten out early on. Her plastic bottle that they filled up from their sink was all green. It looked like ethylene glycol was in it. So if that's the case, if they had gotten out and their well was contaminated, the wetlands are between those people and the crash site. So here we're just going to my office. So, a little bit back to the symptoms. I'm not whining, I'm just reporting so that people understand. From what I know of the chemicals and what I've researched, I want to get everything correct, so I will make the video. Those 3 chemicals alone they cause the very symptoms that a lot of people are complaining about. The eye irritation, the gastric irritation. I have never had any kind of severe heartburn in my entire life. After I filmed the aerators in the park, I had horrible acid reflux for at least 4 weeks. It was really, really bad for about 5 days, where acids were just shooting up into my mouth, burning my tongue, burning my gums, burning my entire mouth. Had to have one of my staff go to the store and get me some anti-heartburn medication, which I took for I think 2 days. And I don't like medication, so I just gave it up and let it heal. It took months for that to completely heal because I had sorry, another alarm went off. I had I felt like something was stuck in my chest for the longest time, and I would burp all the time, which I don't normally, just burp. And when I would eat something, it felt like it was going to come back up. That slowly healed, but it came back on Monday afternoon, Monday night. When I eat something, it feels like it gets stuck here. And then when I'm not eating something, I still feel like there's something stuck in my chest. Haven't had that since I healed from the first episode. I'm just going to throw some things out there that may or may not be related. Somebody handed me a bag of candy yesterday. They stopped at a local chocolate shop and got me a little bit of candy. And I held my left hand out to hold the little bag, which was smaller than a lunch bag, like a white candy bag. You would choose certain candies, they throw in a bag. And my hand was shaking, and the bag was shaking. And I put my hand down for a moment and picked it back up. I was going to look at the candy with my right hand as I reached in the bag. And the bag was shaking again, like my hand was tremoring. And I made a joke to the patients about getting old. And honestly, I don't even think I thought about it at the time. Yesterday, working was very difficult. I know patients could sense it because I'm usually really upbeat, and I tried to be, even though I wasn't feeling well, but my muscles felt so fatigued, as if they were filled with lactic acid. Something was definitely going on. So just the nasal congestion, the sinus drip, and yes, it's fall. It's just not me. I don't get that. So, and I didn't get it before Monday, and now I'm actually a little more energetic. I couldn't have possibly made this video coming to work yesterday. I was like a zombie. So, my apologies to anybody that was in and I was a little short or I wasn't myself. But, all right, we're here at the office. You saw the crash site. I was telling you about the symptoms that I had, just so that others that may be suffering with it, don't be afraid to talk about it. Oh, try to squeeze in here. Anybody that saw that old video, there is Connie's stealth camper van, which is really cool. So Connie is here. Okay, something good is going to happen to you today.